Okay, so I've got the curtain walls there pretty much where I want them. And so now I just want to experiment with some different options for the facade and put in some of the framing element. So you'll see on the architecture tab you have the curtain grid tool and the mullion tool that will let you add those things to your curtain walls. So starting with the curtain grid tool, I'm just going to move my cursor onto one of the edges, so either the bottom or the top or the left or the right side. You can see once you're near one of those edges of the curtain wall, you'll see the grid line. And so there, because I'm on the bottom edge, it's got a vertical grid line. If I go to the side, it'll give me a horizontal grid line. So once I've got the grid in position, I can just click, create it, and the dimensions will stay there as usual. So afterwards you can always select that dimension and change the measurement if you want it. Okay, so that might be a bit tight, and I can always again just go back and change that. So I can go along like that and just choose additional grid lines. So I might just do a few with the same spacing. And so then you can see here I've got a grid that's a different measurement, but I'm going to change that to 1800. And then I might use that space for a door. It's left over. So I can go along here and again put in same or different spacing. Now there are of course ways of automatically putting in grid lines at an equal spacing, but it's good to just get used to doing it manually as well, because there'll always be times when you want to do different grid spacings. You can always just draw them in like this, and so let's do a few more. And actually I might leave a few of those and I've got another idea. I'll do something different there. So I'll make this one 1800 at the end. And then I might put in some horizontal grid lines. So moving to one of the vertical edges now, doesn't matter which one. And again, click to put in a grid, and then again, adjust any of those measurements. So maybe we'll make this 2700. So that often is a good height for a door, but here because we've got, well actually it looks high, but we're going to bring that down once the bulkhead goes in. So I'll leave it 2700 for now, and I can always bring that up later if I need to. And then usually you'll need a spanful or a piece going across a transom, same height all the way. Okay, so now I've got the basic grid pattern. Just want to show you how to remove grid lines if you want to take out any there. I'm going to press escape twice to cancel curtain grid, and then you'll see I can select a grid line. So watch out, you can easily select the wall by mistake, but you can definitely click on individual grid lines, and then you'll see you get the add remove segments button. So I'm just going to click then to remove a segment. Sorry, this one at the bottom. So now it's just got the part at the top remaining, and so I'll just click to one side to deselect that, and then select another grid line. So I'm going to try and get this one now, and then add remove segments, and maybe I'll take the top one away there, and just trying to build up a bit more pattern there. So maybe I'll try getting the horizontal one now, and then again add remove segments, and let's try taking this one away, and just keep going like that. And if you have a look at a lot of well-known designers' work, you'll see that from a basic grid like that, they can build up some really interesting patterns. And obviously what we're looking at with Mondrian earlier, you can probably get similar ideas. So again here you can start to build up some sort of pattern, even if it is just a rectilinear grid like this. And apart from Mondrian, Might have shown you before, but just in case I haven't, Seidler was the master of facades like this, and you'll see in a lot of his work he had, again, very simple grid patterns, but broken up in interesting ways, and you can easily do all of that with the curtain wall tool, thinking about your grids. Yes, they can only, yep, that's a good point, yep. So if you need to do things at different angles, and you can definitely do that, then you can try to use the curtain system tool, that will do it, but that's quite a difficult tool to master. But otherwise, model in place is going to work pretty well. So you can model using component, model in place, and you can make curtain wall components, or you can even just set them to a walls category and model all the parts you need. And so if you're going to try that, those reference planes that you made earlier will help you a lot there. But I'll give you some examples of modelling those types of things later. So now just with this rectilinear grid, I'm going to go to mullion, and I can choose any of those grids, and just going to put a frame onto them. So zooming in there, you can see we've got a decent mullion. There are lots of different mullion types. Oh, so I'll press escape, and then I'll just click on the mullion tool on the architecture tab. Yep. And then you can just pick grid lines, and it'll put mullions onto them. Yep. So just mullion just to the right, 2 buttons. Yep, that's it. Yep. Okay, so any grids there can have a mullion. They don't all need to have a mullion, but they all can. So mullion's simply a division between a framing piece that divides up the glass, in this case. So in the window in front of you, it's that piece in between the two windows. Okay, so I've got enough mullions on the straight parts, but then I want them on the corners here as well. So, like I was saying, you have lots of different types of mullions. When you click on the properties panel, on the name at the top, you'll see that there are quite a few preloaded, and it'll start with the rectangular mullion 50 by 150, but you can then choose the trapezoid mullion, and that'll work really well for the corners. So you'll see then, I know it looks too fat, but if we have a look in the floor plan, you'll see then that it's joining at the corner properly. I should just show you, if that was still a rectangular mullion, it wouldn't have joined properly. So I'm going to go back, and so it works well as a trapezoid mullion, but it is too big at the front. So I'm just going to make sure it's selected and go to Edit Type, and you'll see down the bottom you've got the centre width and the depth. So I'm going to change the centre width to 50 and click OK. Hopefully so sometimes you've got to try it to see how low you can go. I've gone too far there, so I'll try that again. So back to Edit Type, and I'll try 100. There we go. So that's worked because it wasn't too small. And the other one will change automatically. Back in my 3D view, and you can see that looks a lot better. And we can put a mullion there. Well, maybe it would work well with that one. Did I choose mullion? Oh, sorry. Now, watch out there. See, I can't choose this grid line because I'm still on the trapezoid mullion. That only works for corners. So I'm going to go back to the 50 by 150 rectangular mullion, and now I can choose that spandrel, or that fancy. So that's all I wanted to show you, that you can put those patterns in, and I don't know this one. So we've got plain glass panels, so we've got frames, but I still want to have openings. We need doors to get into the shop, obviously, so I'm going to select one of the glass panels now. And that's a bit harder than selecting that I can select that. If I move it around enough, I can probably still select the grid line as well, even though it's underneath. But then the glass is going to be even harder. So to select those, oops, so my mic's fallen, so hope this sounds working. Anyhow, we'll find out. So I'm going to just use the option key there though, which is tab. So if you're not comfortable using tab still, just remember you usually just need to move your cursor to where you think the edge is. So I think the edge of the glass is about there. Then before you click anywhere, press tab and see the option that you get. It's down here, if you're wondering, down on the status bar. So I'll press tab, and I can see on the status bar it's telling me chain of walls or lines. I don't want that, so I'll press tab again. It's got now curtain wall mullion. I don't want that either, so I'll press tab again. And it's got the grid now. I don't want that either, so tab again, and now it says curtain panels down on the status bar. And if you read further, system panel glazed, which tells me it's the glass. So finally I can then click to select it, and I know I've got the glass. And that tab option key is useful in all kinds of situations, so it's worth getting used to it. So now that I've selected the glass, I can go to edit type, and then this is where the dreaded error comes in. It's just a bug that's been in Revit for a little while now. That load button there should work, but it's greyed out, and it's simple to fix it. I'll cancel this and show you. You can go to the Insert tab, Load Family, double click on curtain wall panels, and then just double click on any of these. It doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to double click on one of the double doors. Doesn't matter, as long as you load one of them. Now I'm going to repeat what I did before. I'm going to use tab to highlight the glass, and then click to select it, edit type. Now the load button's working. So I'm going to click load again and go to curtain wall panels again, and this time choose the door I want. Now the one I chose I think is pretty close to the one I want, but I'll show you there's some other pretty good ones for retail or commercial. So you can see the preview over here, but also obviously you've got the thumbnail. So I think most of these will work, but I think I'll go with the one I chose before, with the deeples. And the only problem is that if it was loaded previously, you sometimes have to choose it from the list at the top there. It still says system panel, but if I click on that list there, you can see there's the one with the deeples. And that's it. Now if I click OK, I've got a perfect door. Back in the floor plan, will of course show us the door as well. And just like any door, you can select it, and if you need to flip it, use the arrows. That easy. Yep, sure. So I'll do it with another panel. So over here, another panel with a door maybe. So with tab, again, I can highlight the glass, select it, edit type, and then load. So I'm going to double click on curtain wall panels there, and then I'll get a different door, so I'll double click on this one, storefront. And then OK. That was not as nice, but still works. Okay, so you've got to get the glass first. So that's the wall. That's the whole wall. I'll come over in a second.